When I look at bigger picture issues with energy transitions, whether we're trying to do a renewable integration study for some country that is looking to meet some farther term goal in terms of penetration of renewables and how are they going to get there? What's it going to cost? What's the strategy? What's the plan? That kind of analytics. Clearly, we would use a tool like SAINT. Hawaii Natural Energy Institute is a part of the University of Hawaii, specifically within the School of Ocean and Earth Science and Technology, or SOST. HNEI has been around since the 1970s with a key mission to support the state's objectives in terms of energy transition and managing, the broad energy issues here in Hawaii from a policy perspective, regulatory, but obviously doing technical analytics and support towards those missions. Its work has broadened beyond Hawaii. The work I do in my group focuses in power systems across the full range from policy, regulation, and technical issues, grid wide to grid edge. We do quite a bit of international based work as well, with a predominant focus in the Asia Pacific region, but not exclusive to that. My particular group focuses on power systems, right? And I'd say in the bigger sense of it, energy transition, whether it be grid-wide type issues, and which is a lot of the kinds of things we would use and look at in applying a tool like SAINT. And then we also work more towards grid edge solutions. We work quite a bit in the intersection of electrification of transportation and how that intersects with the power energy infrastructure. A lot of our work is technical economic in nature, but a lot of it is very applied. A lot of our key project work are other governments in the world, in the Asia Pacific region, regulators, utilities, and just trying to help people find solutions to their problems. And obviously no shortage of challenges and issues to deal with. A lot of capacity building is involved with our work. So while we do the substantive work and things that our stakeholders need, we also really try to incorporate into that a fair amount of teaching along the way, right? So they get the product that they're looking for, but they also are further empowered for their future to manage their issues and needs. Depending on the analytics you're doing, those kinds of analyses cannot only be done using a production cost tool. You need to also look at the implications on the grid operations and infrastructure side of things, doing power flows and maybe dynamics analyses, right? So there's a suite of work that needs to be done. Using a tool like SAINT allows us to do that suite of work, working on both the generation side of the analytics and techno-economics there, and the transmission side of things in a more integrated, effective fashion. So that was, I think, my primary motivation in exploring SAINT, whereas historically I've used tools that are not coupled in the way SAINT is. I think that is one of the advantages that SAINT brings to the table. So far working with SAINT, I really value support by the vendor. It's essential, particularly in my case, I have a fair amount of fairly young engineers that don't have deep experience doing this kind of work. So I need that support for us to be able to do that work effectively, right? We've got some new projects where we're looking at some island grids in the Pacific. Both grids, as well as much of the world, right, is trying to deal with energy transition and bringing more renewable energy into their energy mix, right? These grids are historically, as is in the case of most small island grids, diesel power driven, and want to integrate more renewables in the form of wind, solar, etc. And so using tools like SAINT are essential. In the case of one of the islands where they already have a fairly high penetration of renewables with very little analytics, and as a result of, I think, them not having done that yet, there's some significant challenges they're facing right now, both on the operations side of it as well as the financial side of it, a huge financial case. So we're going to go in there and try to help to analyze that. We're going to build a model and we're going to work closely with them in applying it to evaluate their issues and help them chart their path forward, right? I mean, it all starts with plans for utilities to, act on them and move things forward. So this kind of work is crucial and foundational to their next steps. I think the biggest differentiator is a unified platform, right, between the generation side and the transmission side. There's different tools out there on the market that do these things individually. So you can't answer the questions and meet your needs by just looking at one of these pieces. And so to have a platform that can integrate across, even all three really, right? Generation, transmission, and distribution is crucial. So having that, again, integrated common platform, I believe should make our work more efficient and effective. I think it's imperative, particularly when utilities have to use consultants and contractors. They also need to understand how to do this. That's crucial. And so, again, we're looking forward to encoord working with us as well as interfacing with our customers, our stakeholders in the application of your tool. I'm very optimistic and excited about this partnership we're engaging in, and look to deliver great benefit to us as an organization, and be able to do this for others, but ultimately deliver solutions to our stakeholders that are seeking our support. So encoord will be a key part in our ability to deliver that.